After scrolling through Netflix, I saw this film called Malevolent. It looked generic by the cover, but having Florence Pugh was enough to get me to give it a shot. Was it worth it? Well, the movie follows a team of frauds that go to people's houses, take advantage of their feelings, convince them that they have ghosts, and then that they expelled them from the premises. We see this in action at the very first scene as they go to a recently widowed man's house, one that he shares with his daughter, and use their grief to convince them that the man's wife, the girl's mother, spirit still resides in the house. Unable to be at rest, using what sounds like the woman's voice to really sell the point home in a way that could hopefully give the pair some closure if it wasn't for the fact that by the end a real spirit seems to present itself. Florence Pugh's character Angela acts as someone with the ability to hear and experience ghosts. She's a pivotal part of the group, but she has a conscience, one that her brother, the mastermind, doesn't seem to share. At first anyway. Her and Jackson's mother actually had the power to see ghosts, which is where Angela gets her power from, a power that is used to varying degrees throughout the film. Back to Jackson for a moment though. Besides being a scammer and a liar, we find out he owes a lot of people money and has made a lot of enemies as well. His girlfriend is a blonde girl named Beth, who is good with technical stuff even though she's not the only one on the team with that ability. She doesn't have much to separate her from Elliot, the awkward resident nerd of the group, so there's not much to say about her besides what was already said. Elliot has feelings for Angela, mans the camera, and has a lot to live up to. He seems like a decent guy, only in on the scam to be close to Ange and backing her whenever she needs it. He wants her to be safe first and foremost, and is quick to state that when they're in over their heads. Now that we know the team, once they get a job about a haunting at an old house, they take on more than they bargained for, and the film finally takes off. They go and meet a woman named Miss Green, who says murders of many young children took place in the house, and that her son was solely responsible. Then the normal ghost hunting shenanigans take place, with Angela taking it seriously and Jackson focusing on the scam. There's some really good effects here, great use of camera angles, some decent lighting, twists and turns, and top-notch acting to top it all off. That being said, it takes a while to truly take off, with the pacing before arriving to the house being a bit slow, although it does establish some much needed backstory for the characters and build some of the world around them. They aren't perfect scenes though, and if you took them out entirely, I'm not sure they have much of a presence on their own for them to truly be missed. Although this isn't an entirely original premise, and some of the story beats do take a rather familiar turn, I was actually pleasantly surprised with this one. The atmosphere was a good one, Florence Pugh did a phenomenal job as always, and everything came together in a really fitting way. Things that happened off screen were referenced cleverly, the mystery was established rather well, but it did have its problems. Characters doing dumb things is rather prominent. Announcing yourself before an attack, following things you probably shouldn't, abandoning people or things you probably shouldn't, stuff like that. They also leave too much up to the imagination at times, and although some things are explained away in simple dialogue, it doesn't necessarily answer all the questions that would make the plot more airtight, trying to avoid specific spoilers here. It's also just not very scary. It can be tense, sure, even enthralling at times, but for a horror movie, that horror itself isn't really there for me. There weren't any jump scares, the stomach-churning horror was kept to cutaways off screen, and it felt rather tame compared to even most haunted house films. Something I'd recommend more to your squeamish friends, or someone that's new to the genre over a more veteran horror fan. Normally I'm not a big fan of flashbacks since they're implemented poorly more often than not, and can really hurt pacing in that regard. Here though, if they were used to establish some sort of connection to the victims, or a relationship between characters, it would have helped with the emotional weight of the situations that they found themselves in. A random line about something that happened between the siblings when one was 12 is fine, but when it's all that we have as reference to their connection as siblings, it feels kinda cheap, lazy, and unnecessary without something to back it up. Overall, I honestly enjoyed the film, but it's far from perfect, and needs some tempered expectations when going in. It's unique enough with decent enough twists that I could recommend as a time waster if you aren't looking for anything too deep. It's not nearly as bad as people make it out to be, and I'd honestly watch it again one day if someone wanted to watch it with me. Above average, but only just. If you want to see more, then subscribe, dislike if you disliked it, and for more news, reviews, and whatever we choose, stay tuned to Nerdsfeed. Have a great day, thank you.